Well, here we go again. Democrats coming up with another creative way to call us all racist.
The Save America Act is yet another Republican attempt to intimidate and suppress the votes of anyone who threatens their extremist white supremacist agenda.
Right, yes, everyone who I don't like is a white supremacist. The only problem, ma'am, is that people aren't buying that anymore. Welcome back to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Boy, the Democrats at every turn are actively trying to undermine what the American people want and what they voted for. And it's obvious to anyone who's paying attention. It's obvious to anyone who's watching. But it's like every day they're doing something. I mean, we've watched them go protest in the streets, riot in the streets over illegals being deported, illegal gang members being deported. Like, the list goes on of all of the ways that they are actively trying to undermine the American way of life, the American law and order. And today, I've got a brand new way for you, okay? Remember the SAVE Act? All but one Democrat voted against the SAVE Act. Now, again, well, it's still passed, first of all, so, like, I guess good luck to you with your temper tantrum. But if you're not familiar, the SAVE Act is very simple. It would just require proof of citizenship to vote, or like a voter ID, driver's license, whatever form of proof that you are supposed to be voting.
Sarah, but what about all the married and divorced ladies that changed their name?
God. That's one of the tactics that they use. They're like, did you know that the SAVE Act will prevent you from voting if you're married because your last name, like, what is even their argument, Stephen? I don't even understand it.
Don't make me explain it. I don't get it either. I saw something the other day that said, well, you have to have real ID, but only 6 states have real ID. And I'm like, that's not true.
It's not true.
It's completely not true.
It's not true.
No. And like, you kind of lived some of this when you did the TSA pre-check.
Yes.
And there's no way it's going to be as difficult as that.
Oh, my God.
But you were able to do that. Like, it's just...
Listen, it should be hard. Like, it actually should require a little bit of steps to jump through, because we want it to be safe and we want it to be secure. So there should be some verification there. Like, duh. Okay? It's such a weird argument. Like, you care about democracy, but you don't want to make sure that the people who are voting are supposed to be voting. I don't understand it. I can't make sense of it. Any lie that you've heard, if you hear from anyone that if you're married, you can't get it. If you're married, you're not going to be able to vote anymore. If you've ever been married, if you're divorced, whatever the case may be, if you read that, just know it's total bullshit. It's not true. Okay?
Also, doesn't it show you how many illegals are voting in elections right now? If they keep talking about they're going to disenfranchise.
All right, I'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll get to that. Now, the strange thing about this is, like, the Democrat Congress people are actively preventing this from happening. And typically, you would think if you are in Congress, you are supposed to represent your constituency. And so if you would think that they're representing their constituency, then that would lead you to think that this is wildly unpopular with the left. Like, the Democrat constituency doesn't want voter ID. But here's the strange thing. That's not correct. The vast majority of all Americans on both sides agree that we should have safe and secure elections. 83% favor requiring all voters to show a government-issued photo ID to vote, including 95% of Republicans and 71% of Democrats. That is still, 71 is low, in my opinion, too low, but it is still an overwhelming majority of Americans who say this. It's not controversial. Like, the Democrats that you're hearing in Congress that are acting as if it's controversial are just, it's all just theater. The world is but a stage. In real life, in regular America, it is not controversial to say we should make sure you are who you say you are before you participate in a very important election. And all of the elections are important. So you start thinking, like, if the vast majority of people agree why are congressional Democrats attempting to stand in the way of the will of their own people? It doesn't make sense, except orange man bad. That's the only, that's the only sense that you can make of it. It's not good for the country. It's not good for the country that non-citizens or, just like, I don't know, someone down the street who says that they're your grandma and they're really not, but they show up and they're like, I promise I'll just sign that I am who I claim I am. Or you got like ballot boxes being stuffed like in the years of COVID. Like, there are so many things that could happen to change elections. I mean, look at the curious case of Joe Biden. Look at the curious case of Joe Biden. I'm sorry. That's right. Joe Biden was elected as the president of the United States of America in the safest and most secure election of all time with 81 million votes, more popular than Barack Obama. More popular than Barack Obama. So, of course, you have these congressional Democrats who are like, listen, there's no problem. Why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We already have the mechanisms in place to make sure that it's obviously just American citizens who are voting. We don't even give illegals any sort of, government ID. Wrong. Not true. Not true. What are you talking about? It's not an issue. It's never happened before. Illegals never have voted ever. Non-citizens never have voted in an election. That is a right-wing conspiracy theory nut job. Fill in the blank. Never happens. Okay, cool. Let's listen to Democrat Representative Lauren Underwood.
These guys say that the Save America Act is needed to prevent undocumented immigrants from voting, but y'all already know that that is not a thing.
A jury just convicted a woman in Massachusetts of voter fraud.
We're talking about a 59-year-old illegal immigrant who's been in the country for years, stole someone else's identity, and then voted in the 2024 presidential election. Take a look at this photo here. This is Lina Maria Arovio Hernandez. In this picture, you can see her, Martha, wearing that I voted sticker that we all get when we go to cast our ballots.
There you go, Stephen. There you go.
It's just ridiculous. There's just no word for it.
I mean, I just why do we have such retards in Congress? I don't understand it.
It really is smart. They're not. They just need them to vote. They need illegals to vote. It's their voter base.
Okay, that's fair. But why argue? You're sitting there staring into a camera or staring into another human being and claiming something that is not true. I get it. I get the Great Replacement. It's not a theory. It's just happening. I understand that. And even if you were to argue that illegals are not voting and changing elections, well, illegals are being counted in the census that is then used to create these districts and decide how many each state has to represent them in Congress. So obviously it's affecting it either way. But to just sit there and claim that this doesn't happen is it's just such a gaslighting, manipulative tactic. It's just so dirty. It's just so dirty, especially when there are places like New York that they have had to go to the New York Supreme Court to determine whether or not non-citizens can vote in local elections. So they haven't touched the federal yet, but they're slowly trying to create. There are multiple different places where they are actively trying to make sure that non-citizens can vote in local elections. And then they're going to sit there and tell you, actually, there's no case ever documented where an illegal has tried to vote, where a non-citizen has tried to vote. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. I remember when they said this and Steven Crowder did a whole big series where they literally went to places that didn't exist. They're like, voter fraud never happens. Every single vote in this country is the safest and most secure ever. It's never happened before. Anyone who says so is lying. It's just enough already. Now, you've got several different retardation issues with the Democrats going on. You've got the people who claim this isn't actually a problem. There's no problem. You don't need to solve anything because it's not happening, which I just showed you. And then you've got people who are like, actually, let me explain to you why requiring a photo ID is somehow racist. Let's listen.
Look, as I hear my colleagues
Delia
on the other
Ramirez.
side of the aisle, what I hear is the same racist, misogynistic trash, different decade. Republicans are invoking historical policies intended, let's be clear, to disenfranchise Americans, especially working people, women, students, indigenous people, and anyone who can't afford the burdens of a new bill. The Save America Act is yet another Republican attempt to intimidate and suppress the votes of anyone who threatens their extremist white supremacist agenda.
The soft bigotry of low expectations. How can you expect a black person or a Hispanic person to know how to get an ID? Also, I guess they're dirt poor, which you can get it for free. And they can't, like, how do you expect them to know, especially with the Hispanics who, you know, they don't speak English, so they don't even know how to look up where the Department of Public Safety is to get there. Like, I don't understand how it is racist. Me personally, I believe in everyone's ability to understand how to go get a photo ID, which you need for literally anything else. You want to open a bank account, you need a photo ID. You want to fly on an airplane, you need a photo ID. You want to drive in a car, you need a photo ID. You want a credit card, you need a photo ID. Like, there are almost every instance where you do something very important, you need a photo ID. I don't understand how they're not understanding that this is not is it racist to you know what? I see a lot of minorities flying. How are they doing that? How are they doing that? Now, the illegals, they don't actually need ID, conveniently enough. But the legal citizens, they've all managed to get a photo ID. How did that possibly happen if it's racist to expect those dumb black people to know how to go get a photo ID? Like, it's just it's such an insanely, inherently racist thing to suggest. It's almost unbelievable. Now, I want to play Scott Jennings, who I was just telling my producer earlier, I'm like, man, Scott Jennings has the coolest job. Like, he just gets to sit there next to the dummies that they put on CNN and just like listen, just take it all in. And then just so easily be like, I'm just going to poke holes in everything you just said because you're so ridiculously idiotic. You can't seem to understand that this is easily disproven. And here's some of that.
What voting rights is he taking away from black voters?
Oh, if we look at
the SAVE Act?
The SAVE Act, that's exactly what we're talking about.
How?
That is
How?
actually going to continue to
How?
disenfranchise
How?
overwhelmingly a lot of people of color.
How?
There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0.
So,
this is the same president. If we want to continue...
You haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's
How?
the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making
Poll
people
taxes?
have.
How?
That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom, right? If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID. The reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country, and it's going to disenfranchise black voters.
Concern you that you're making all these claims, you've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone, but 76% of black voters think we should show an ID to vote, 80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that black voters are too dumb to know what's good for them?
Yes, actually, I guess that is what she's saying. I mean, I saw with my own two eyeballs when I went several years ago into Michigan, and I was like in Detroit, and I was interviewing people, many of whom were black. And I asked them if they thought that we should have to have a photo ID in order to vote. And they were all like, yes. Yeah, duh, I do. Of course. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think the only person who said no, or at least was like refused to participate, was this dumb liberal white woman who demanded to know who I was with, what organization I was with before she answered. And then it was like, oh, I'm not talking to you because you're a conservative. Huh. Other than that, everyone else, I mean, they were overwhelmingly, like every single black person that I talked to looked at me as if I was dumb to even suggest otherwise. They're like, yeah, duh. Of course we need photo ID to vote. I got to use it for everything else. Why not that? We're literally electing the people to run our entire country. Of course, we should be making sure and validating that you are who you say you are before you cast the vote. Duh. Now, it wasn't just me. Ami Horowitz, he was on the show a long time ago. He actually asked black people, like, hey, you got ID? Do you know how to get one? Because I am reliably informed that you're too stupid to understand how to do it. So what do you say? What say you? Here's some of that.
Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID? That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so like we know what we need to carry around.
Yeah, everybody that I know have ID. Like, that's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy camera?
I know, right? That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's that. It's on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Did you have a problem getting there if you had to get there?
No.
There you go. Right out of the horse's mouth. Oh, but they hadn't heard the blowhard on CNN lecture them about how actually they are too stupid. Maybe they forgot where the DMV is. Maybe they forgot where to go. And remember, we heard from Joe Biden himself during his debates before he was elected president in the safest and most secure election of all time. We heard from him that black people were actually too dumb to open up a computer and search anything. In that instance, it was the vaccine. Like they couldn't understand how to open up their computer if they even had a computer and like type in, where is the DMV? They're too stupid, apparently, according to the Democrats. Let me just, I want to play, let's end on a light note here. This video, it just perfectly encapsulates the stupidity of this voter ID argument at all, and it's pretty fun. Watch. It says voter ID laws are racist.
Good. How are you? Are you the shop owner?
Yes.
I have some terrible news. It looks like your certificate for the shop, it's actually expired.
No, he's not.
Yeah, it expired, and we're going to need $500 today to make sure that you can still have the shop going.
Who are you?
I'm Javante. I'm with the Illinois State Licensing Board.
Oh, can I have your ID?
Excuse me, bigot? Did you just ask a black man for his ID?
You're not black.
I was assigned white skin pigmentation at birth by my parents' bigoted doctor, but I identify as African American. You can't ask me for my ID, that's racist.
No, I'm not racist.
Those are your signs out there, aren't they? It says ID is racist.
That's different.
How is it different?
It's different because...
Because how? Did you ask me for my ID so you know who I am?
Who are you? Give me your license.
So you're asking me so you know who I am, right?
Yes.
Because an ID makes you feel more comfortable knowing I am who I say I am?
Yeah, because I have to know who are you.
Isn't that what they're doing at the voting booth?
Yes.
Exactly. So how are IDs racist at the voting booth? You don't have an answer, do you? You just put up those signs just to put them up. You did?
Yes.
Good luck with that, buddy.
It's too stupid to comprehend. All right. Make sure that you have smashed the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered and comment. It'll help us in the algorithm, which we all know is stacked against us. Also, go over and subscribe to @SaraGonzalesTX. We are releasing exclusive content there. We've got, oh my God, we've got so many fun things we're working on. I am literally, the moment that I leave this studio, we're going to go work on some more H-1B investigative work, and you're going to find it exclusively at that channel. So make sure you are subscribed. And then if you haven't joined Blaze TV, consider it. BlazeTV.com/Sara. You can use promo code Sara for some savings. BlazeTV.com/Sara. I was just on with my friend Brianna Morello, and we were talking about the fact that we were so laser focused on illegal immigration that we just, like, people were not paying attention to legal immigration and the systems in which people are coming here. And with regard to the H-1B visa and the fraud that we've exposed, it's just simply a game of whack-a-mole, right? Like, you can take down one of these companies and then you have 10 more that pop right back up. And the only way to stop it for good is to end the H-1B program. That is what my next guest is trying to do. Welcome to the show, Representative Greg Steube. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, anytime.
So, Congressman, you introduced the Ending Exploitative Imported Labor Exemptions Act, or, of course, the Exile Act for short. I was so excited to see that you introduced this bill. I know there are other bills to curb all immigration, but the chances of getting those through, pretty slim. Stopping the H-1B visa should be something that everyone can get behind. Tell me what the response has been so far.
Well, obviously the response from conservative outlets has been very, very positive. What's kind of interesting is I've never had outlets in India writing about me, and all the outlets in India are obviously very opposed to this because India and China are the ones that use this the most. Yep. It's like 90,000 people a year, but they renew these every year. So like last year, there were 400,000 renewals on top of the almost 100,000 people that got new H-1B visas. All of these individuals that are coming into our country are taking jobs away from Americans. These are young, entry-level tech-type positions. Like Microsoft is a big taker of H-1Bs. Amazon is the #1 taker of H-1Bs. So they're taking away jobs from Americans. I can't think what would be more America first than the doing away with a program that's taking away especially entry-level jobs for young people.
Right, and you mentioned the entry-level jobs, and you're right, that is the case in many of these circumstances, but it's just totally contrast to what the H-1B program was supposed to be intended for, which is just like, you're the best, you're the brightest, you've got a really unique skill set. And I don't know how far down the rabbit trail you've gone. I personally, it's like now my new hobby is to expose all of this. And so I'm sitting around at my home in the evenings and I'm like, oh, so it's like chefs, food service managers, elementary school teachers, like that is counterintuitive to what we were supposed to be receiving. And so now you have, you shared a number of examples on your X page. I encourage everyone to go and follow you. 10,000 plus American doctors cannot find work. 5,000 foreign-born doctors have been placed into residency. That's not a labor shortage. That is a displacement. And to add on top of that, Congressman, because it's a great point. To add on top of that, I just ran a story yesterday about a specific region of India that they were finding all of these fake credentials, these fake certifications of these doctors. So now it's like, we don't even know if they're real doctors.
Yeah, and I served in the state house, state senate before I was in Congress, and every year the Florida Medical Association would come to us and be like, we need more slots for people here in Florida, yet they're giving these slots to foreign doctors who, just like you said, you don't even know if they really have a real diploma or degree in medicine from wherever they're coming from, at the behest and at the detriment of American medical students. It's really fascinating when you start to dig in, and I did put some examples on our X feed. It's at Rep. Greg Steube. But there's been there's been American workers fired from their jobs after companies have gotten some of these H-1B workers. There's a whole bunch of instances of that. Disney, FedEx did that recently where they shuttered a whole bunch of locations after they got a bunch of H-1B people in. So it's a real detriment to American workforce, young Americans that are trying to find those entry-level positions.
Yeah, we have some of these right here that you have been posting. Microsoft, that you mentioned earlier, laid off 16,000 American workers and then received approval for the 9,000 H-1B visas. I mean, this is...
Yeah, no coincidence there.
Right, exactly. Well, and the point that I was trying to make, and that I hope that the president, I hope you can get the message across to him, is the $100,000 fee is not actually a barrier. I don't know if you saw there was a Harvard study that came out that showed that because they are undercutting, as you're pointing out, the Disneys and the Microsofts and the FedEx and all of these companies, they're undercutting with the wages, and they're not doing it for any other reason other than the bottom dollar. And so when they're bringing these people over, the money that they're saving by paying them less is actually, they're like, yeah, we can afford the $100,000 just because of the amount that we're saving in bringing these people over. So it's not actually a barrier to stem any of it.
No, it's not. And I hope as more people like yourself keep talking about this, maybe this will get on his radar or something. He could executively end the program. Congress needs to do away with it congressionally, but the executive branch doesn't have to issue the visas. Immigration and Naturalization doesn't have to issue the visas, so he could do an executive order saying no more H-1B, at least during his time. But we need to make sure that this bill passes so that future presidents could obviously reinstate it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you mentioned that the conservative side of the aisle has been very receptive to it. I imagine that the Democrats, anything that a Republican touches, authors, breathes on, whatever, they're like, no, we don't want it. But you have to imagine at a certain point, every single American is going to feel the pain. I mean, it is in every single, they're coming here, they're buying up our housing. Right. And then housing costs, the young people can't afford a home. So even if you're a Democrat and you think, oh, orange man bad, I hate everything Republicans do. It's like, OK, well, when you have children and your children go to college and they graduate and they can't find a damn job, at what point are you going to be willing to say this is a problem and we need to undo the damage that's been done?
Yeah, you would think they would, but unfortunately, Democrats in today's world are just not like that. I mean, we just had every single Democrat but one vote against requiring an ID, just an ID to vote, so that we know that we only have citizens voting in our country. When I passed the Save Women's Sports bill that doesn't allow biological men to compete in women's sports, the first time, not a single Democrat voted for that. And that's like an 80% issue. Democrat moms don't want biological men in their daughters' locker rooms in middle school and high school. But how that's not reaching the people that are Democrats in Congress is kind of fascinating, because it's, well, if the Republicans are for it, we're against it. If it has anything to do about this trans agenda, we're against it. If it has anything to do with immigrants, we're against it, without really digging into the real challenges and problems that it's facing for the American workforce.
Yeah. Outside of, and you're absolutely right with that. On the H-1Bs, outside of the big companies that you mentioned that are abusing the system, we have seen in our investigations an astounding number of these fake shell companies that are being popped up to import these workers for fake jobs. And they create shell company after shell company after shell company. And then they bring in the H-1B comes in, and then they bring in the H-4 on the dependent visa. And then the H-4 comes in and gets authorized to work and then creates all of these fake shell companies as well. It's just a reoccurring pattern. And I start going through this and I'm like, where are the people at USCIS? Are they asleep? I don't understand how they are rubber stamping all of these people without even doing basic due diligence. I can look and see on these websites, when I just look at the paperwork, I look at the labor condition applications. Do you get any sense for why USCIS isn't cracking down on this?
Well, I mean, you got deep state actors there that have been there for decades that allowed unvetted Afghans into our country that then obviously do things against our nation. It's just been fascinating. And looking at it from a national security perspective, the two major companies that take the most are China and India. And then these students or these individuals that are working at Microsoft or working at Amazon then take information back to their host countries. It's also an intelligence issue because you have the number one national security threat to the United States, which is the Chinese Communist Party, obviously seeding a lot of these people to come into our country to bring back intelligence back to China. And we shouldn't allow for that to happen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I'm going to be in DC in a couple weeks. I would love to meet with you and talk about how we can partner together to end all of this visa fraud. It's just like I have all of this information and I want to get it to the federal government, and I'm trying to enlist as many people as I can. Can we enlist you in our investigative process?
Yeah, happy to help with that.
Amazing.
And we can forward it along to the agency too. We have contacts there.
Exactly. Yes, that is what we need.
The leadership, Trump's leadership, probably doesn't know that this is going on.
Right.
The rank and file at these departments are probably just rubber stamping stuff like they always have. But I think once the leadership, these Trump appointees, know that this type of behavior is happening, they can change it fairly quickly.
Yeah, I love it. Well, let's try to get something on the books when I'm there, because I would love to meet with you on this. This is something that is going to affect every American. Representative Greg Steube, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you. All right. I cannot wait to share with you guys what we are working on with regard to that. He mentioned China, and they are a very big problem. You're not going to believe what we uncovered. It's really, honestly, tremendous, and it's happening right in front of our eyes. It's really, really scary. And with that, we will be right back. I regret to inform you, there is once again something amiss with the Make America Great Again movement. There are dark forces at play, I guess. I don't know. We are supposed to be, it's in the name, making America great again. There are so many things that President Trump told us, and I do still believe that he intends to deliver on his agenda, but there's some strange things, strange happenings. Something is amiss, because if you recall, this is the Trump energy that we signed up for.
Our message is very simple. If you come illegally into the United States, you're going to jail, or you're going back to where you came from, or perhaps even further than that. You know what that means?
That was what America voted on. But now I don't understand what's happening. I said this a couple weeks ago. I don't understand who is behind all of these decisions. I have my suspicions, but I don't know who is in President Trump's ear telling him before the midterms, you know what? You should go softer. You should have a softer touch on illegal immigrants. You should be more gentle with them. Who the hell is saying that? Whoever the hell is saying that needs to be fired, because that is not what we voted for. Over in Minneapolis, Tom Homan just announced a full pullback of the ICE immigration surge there. So they are drawing out. They're leaving Minneapolis, and somehow they're trying to explain to you, no. This is actually a win.
As President Trump has said from day one, we're going to prioritize the public safety threats. Again, but prioritization doesn't mean forget about everybody else. That means if you have a criminal alien here and non-criminal here, the criminal always comes first because he's the biggest threat to the communities. We're going to continue to force immigration law, but we're going to get back to the footprint here, the normal footprint here, but we're going to continue to enforce immigration law. That's what the American people voted for. But it has to be a priority of criminals. And look, I hear all the hate about, you should arrest everybody. Well, we are. But we're prioritizing those who are the biggest threat to our community. The rapists, the murderers, the child molesters. That's the right thing to do. But I'll say it again. President Trump made a promise of mass deportation, and that's what this country's going to get.
That's just so... I really like Tom Homan. I really do. He looks like a defeated man there, in my opinion. It looks like this is hard for him to do, and he's trying his best to do his job and spin it the way that he thinks is going to be best received by the American people. But to hear our border czar in the Trump 2.0 administration refer to them as criminals and non-criminals is actually incredibly insulting. They're all criminals. They are all, if they are here illegally, they are all criminals. It's in the name illegal. So why are we using this rhetoric Why are we giving in to the toddler temper tantrums of the left? Why are you allowing the state of Minnesota to circumvent federal law? And they're literally flaunting it in front of your face. And you're like, yeah, well, we don't want this smoke. Really? You're giving the W to Tim Walz? They're all illegal. Arrest them, detain them, arrest them, and deport them. It's really that simple. I mean, like, I'm still reading headlines like illegal immigrant crashes car into ICE vehicle in dangerous attempt to resist arrest in St. Paul, Minnesota. Is that not a threat? Is that not like how criminal do you need to be? Because they're all criminals. So how criminal do you need to be? This is just like the CBS News headline that was so disingenuous. Oh, only less than 14% are actually violent. Oh, okay. Well, you're not counting the drug traffickers. You're not counting the sex traffickers. You're not counting the people who commit DUIs who could kill American citizens. You're not counting this guy. Well, this guy's not violent. He just crashed his car into an ICE vehicle. He was only trying to resist arrest. So he's nonviolent. So he's a non-criminal. So he doesn't count. Like, how far are we extending this logic? Because this is not what we voted for. What we voted for were mass deportations. What we voted for was everyone needs to go home. And I don't like this rhetoric. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I do not like this rhetoric. I think that this is like, if you want to energize your base to go out into the midterms to make sure that you guys don't lose power, you are doing things that you said that you were going to do. You bring that Trump energy that I just played for you. I don't like it. I don't think the American people like it. You tell me in the comments. You let me know in the comments. All this will do is teach the left that they can continue with the lies, that they can continue with the misrepresentation, that they can continue with the fake statistics, that they can continue with the optics of, oh my gosh, there's a little boy and he was being arrested by ICE, rather than no, actually his asshole father just ditched him. He said, every man for himself, son, go save yourself. Good luck to you. And then just left the kid defenseless, and ICE actually came in and saved this kid from being like a new orphan. So all this is doing is teaching all of those people, all of these evil people who are trying to manipulate the public, that it works. It works. Keep doing it because it works. We just got our way. Ha ha ha. Nanny, nanny, boo boo. That's all that this is teaching them. This is a very dangerous precedent. Extremely dangerous precedent. Now, remember, Democrats don't actually care about these people. They don't actually think these people are equal to them or anything else. And sometimes the quiet part they accidentally say out loud. Sometimes they accidentally let it slip that actually I just want them for slave labor, as it turns out. And I want to play for you Representative Becca Balint back in June.
We have to come to a place in Congress where it is no longer a political issue, but we see it as an existential issue for the country. If we don't have avenues for people to come here legally to work or to build a home here, I'm going to be really crude right now. We're not going to have anybody around to wipe our asses because we don't have enough people.
Oh, that sounds like someone who's super respectful of immigrants. That sounds like someone who definitely doesn't think they're just here to do the jobs that Americans don't want to do. Who else is going to wipe your ass? Who else is going to fix your shingles on your roof? Who else is going to clean your home? Oh, I'm sorry. Are immigrants more, do they have more skills than that? That's all I thought of them. That these people are all saying the quiet parts out loud because that is actually what they think of these immigrants. Remember the Martha's Vineyard folks. They're like, oh, how could you possibly do that? All right, you guys take them. Actually, it turns out we don't want them here, but we'll send them on their way with a nice box of Frosted Flakes, I believe is what they did. These people are unhinged. It's unbelievable. Now, it's not just what's happening in Minnesota and the drawdown. It's also what the hell is happening at the DOJ. Now, I've said this for a long time. I don't particularly, I'm not fond of Pam Bondi. I don't think she's qualified for her position. And yet she was given an opportunity to prove me wrong yesterday. She didn't. Spoiler alert, she didn't. So she was at a hearing and they asked her, of course, about the Epstein files, which understandably you would want to push back because the Democrats in these hearings are very rude. But she, like, I don't know where she thought she was walking into. I don't know what kind of preparation she got, but clearly it was not enough.
Over the last 4 years, one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear.
They're
Rustin.
laughing because
the
this
Dow
is stupid.
is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming.
Okay.
That's what we should be talking about.
Like with
we
you?
should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
I'm sorry, like Pam Bondi, economist, Harvard economist, like what, like, okay, that's not what you're there to talk about. So while I understand you wanting to get these people, I gotcha. You're not going to get me. I'm going to get you. Like that's your big pushback, your big comeback. By the way, nothing she said there sounded genuine at all. You have to wonder how she became the top attorney in this entire country. And I beg of President Trump, please, there are so many better picks. It's not too late. Fire Pam Bondi and bring someone in who knows what the hell they are doing before we get creamed at the midterms. Please, I implore you. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Now, I don't want conservatives to be mad at me. Don't be mad at me because I'm calling out all of the ridiculousness, because I am, as you know, pretty objective. I call out clown, nonsense when I see it. And so I will just give equal attention to the Democrats, specifically Minnesota Attorney General and Antifa simp, Keith Ellison. He's never met an Antifa member that he didn't like. I have it on good authority. Now, he was there to testify in hearings to the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Oversight Committee. And he was asked about, like, hey, Minnesota's a hellhole. Can you tell us what's going on here? There's a lot going on. And by the way, do you think that if someone enters the country illegally, they should be deported? Seems like a pretty specific question with a pretty specific answer.
To the country illegally, or you overstay a visa, should you be deported?
My simple answer is, sir, it depends.
Okay, so if somebody breaks into your home, should they be arrested for breaking and entering, or does it depend?
It's an entirely different scenario.
No, it's not.
Because immigration is essentially a civil, and the breaking into my home is a criminal matter.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So if there's laws that should be enforced, so we shouldn't enforce civil violations?
We absolutely should enforce them.
But you just said that it's a civil matter, so it's different. So if somebody
you enforce civil matters.
So if somebody commits a civil infraction, it shouldn't be enforced?
It should be.
Okay, so they should be deported.
These people, like, the most alarming thing is when this type of rhetoric comes from, like the top law guy in a state. You probably should understand that it's all still illegal. It's like the Jasmine Crockett clips where she's like, well, actually, let me tell you why it's not actually illegal to be here illegally. It's not a crime. Like, you guys went through, I didn't go through law school, okay? And I still can comprehend it. In my average American brain, I didn't even get a master's, okay? I just got a regular old degree, and I still can understand that it is illegal. It is still a violation. And when it's a crime, it's a crime. Now, this might take the cake. Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri with this epic takedown. I just want to give you some context. Keith Ellison was asked about this leaked audio from 2021. And this is Keith Ellison meeting with Somalians who were later convicted in a huge fraud scheme. And they're basically like, we need your help. And if you don't help us, then we're going to withhold our votes. Here's just a little flashback to that.
The only way we can protect what we have is by inserting ourselves into the political arena, putting our votes where it needs to be, but most importantly, putting our dollars in the right place and supporting candidates that will fight to protect our interests.
That's right.
You can only protect our interests when we have your back, and you don't have to worry about who's behind you.
Okay, so now that you have the context, here is the Josh Hawley takedown of Keith Ellison.
Why'd you do it? Why'd you help him?
Are you going to let me answer?
Please, we're all ears.
So first of all, you're cherry picking quotes out of there.
Why did you help him?
I thought you were going to let me answer.
Why did you help him?
Are you going to let me answer?
Why did you help him?
You let me answer and I'll answer you.
Tell the truth and I'll let you answer.
I will tell the truth.
Good.
Let's do that.
That'd be a nice change. Why'd you help him?
Now see, Mr. Chairman, I didn't come here to be insulted. I came here voluntarily.
You came here for the truth. Let's have it. Why did you help them? The quotes are here. They're in black and white, and every member of this audience can listen to the recording. It's 54 minutes long. It's all in public. You can Google it right now and listen to it.
And listen to it all.
Why'd you help them?
First of all, I didn't help them.
You did help them.
No, I did not. I certainly didn't.
You're saying you didn't do anything for them. You didn't.
Well, wait a minute.
I already have my team working on this again. That's not you.
I have my team assisted with the information that led to the prosecution and conviction of these people.
No, you didn't. You didn't lift a finger to prosecute them. No, you did not.
No, because it was a federal prosecution.
You had, BS. You had whistleblowers come to you as early as 2019.
You're the one talking BS.
Hey, listen, it's my time.
Doesn't know what you're talking about, sir.
No, sir. You now have encountered the truth and you don't like it. Why'd you take their money? Why'd you take their money?
I didn't.
You took $10,000.
No, that's a false statement.
$10,000 9 days after the meeting. It's in your reports. Why'd you do it?
Sir,
was it worth it?
You know what? This is a theatrical performance.
This is the truth. This is what accountability looks like, of which you've had none. You helped fraudsters defraud your state and this government of $9 billion, and you got a fat campaign contribution out of it. You ought to be indicted.
True.
Well, that's the truth.
Now, as edifying as that was to watch, we need some action because, to Josh Hawley's point, you should be indicted. Like, these people are criminals. Keith Ellison has been discussing for a very long time how to, bring the Somalians over here and commit fraud. So, great. Love that for your clicks and your likes and your social media following. But I'm going to need more than that from you. We're going to need some indictments. We're going to need some full-on investigations, and we're going to need perp walks, because that is what the left has decided to set as a precedence. And that is what I expect, especially because they are the actual guilty ones. All right. That's it for us. And we will see you guys. It's Friday tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.